Hey guys, welcome to That Game Show, the show that talks about all the stuff in the nerd world and all the stuff in between. I am your host, Chase Bunker, alongside the half-Asian sensation. It's Curtis Coe.
Hey everyone.
One name to rule them all. It's Murph Murphy.
How's it going, guys?
And player 4. It's Daniel Clegg.
Hello, friends.
Alright, whether you are watching us on YouTube or listening to us via Podcast Garden, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, those little phonograms that you heard in, BioShock Infinite. Thank you for making us a part of your day. Kind of old news, but kind of still newish news because it's still going on right now. It is not official yet, but Hideo Kojima could be leaving Konami. It's been seen recently that they've been removing Kojima Productions logo off of some of their projects. They've also been hiring a whole bunch of other positions to help work on Metal Gear. And a bunch of other, very interesting, not shady, but very, he might be leaving soon. So, guys, how big is this? How big is Hideo Kojima leaving Capcom? We'll start off with Murph.
Konami.
Konami, sure.
Konami.
Konami,
Yeah.
excuse me. I've been drinking already.
I think it's big in terms of Metal Gear Solid because it depends. I think they've said they're wrapping it up in 5, but I don't trust anything anyone says ever about Metal Gear Solid.
About series of games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe they said they are going to continue making Metal Gear Solid games.
Right. So who knows? He's very clearly this kind of very weird craftsman. Everyone knows, or anyone who's played a Metal Gear Solid 5 or 5. Anyone who
Apparently you started drinking too. Awesome.
There's quality associated with the franchise.
Right.
Correct.
And just the attention to detail, and that's just his signature, and I think it's a shame, and I think it's very, I'm not an expert on Japan, but I've listened to podcasts with people who are, and it's kind of taboo to fire people in Japan. They more often they just kind of make things hostile enough that they quit. That's just
That's very passive aggressive.
Yes.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
I mean, we know nothing about their internal
Right.
affairs, but we've heard is that they're restricting his team in what information they can access, what part of their network they can, send emails between. They're sort of sequestering that group into their own little section to, I don't know, make it difficult for them or just restrict them from knowing what's going on with the rest of the company since they might be on their way out.
But, Hideo Kojima is crazy enough that this could be a stunt.
Yeah, but for what purpose? What
There's
purpose
nothing to
with this?
gain.
I mean, but then again, Kojima does a lot of stunts that don't make any sense, and everyone's just like, I don't understand why you did that. That had no. Didn't he do something with Metal Gear Solid 3, where he was dressed? Oh, they said it was going to be a Raiden game, or something like that, and then Solid Snake showed up in Sam Fisher's outfit and beats the crap out of Raiden, and then it's like, oh, it's my game, blah 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 blah.
I mean, any press is good press, I suppose, but I don't think that's what this is. I think he's probably on his way out, and I think it probably is a big deal, and Konami knows it. That's why they have to start getting people used to seeing different names on the game titles.
Well, they're
people
just
associate a lot of positive feedback with Kojima and Konami, but they want to see that name. It's like Sid Meier's here, right?
Shigeru Miyamoto would be the other one. Probably.
Big names of developers carry a lot of weight.
But
So one, they're probably going to lose the right to use his name anymore. But two, they want to start associating positive feedback with Konami more so than Kojima.
The one thing I don't like.
Counterpoint.
Okay, you go with Counterpoint first.
Counterpoint. When they announced Silent Hill, it was through the PT demo. They didn't really say anything about it. There's no way to know what it is until you beat it, and the way you beat it is they didn't expect anyone to beat it for at least a month.
Yeah, but here's the thing about the whole Silent Hill PT thing was that everybody got excited for it because Hideo Kojima's name was on it, because he's known for putting out quality. And I'm thinking, I'm looking at all the other games that Konami's made without Hideo Kojima. What is it? It's Castlevania Lord of Shadow, which is getting mixed reviews. You've had
Was he involved in that one?
I think he
kind of-
was.
I think he was involved.
I
in
don't
that.
think he was.
We'll look. I'll
So
look
look
it
that up.
You keep going.
The Silent Hills before then, like Homecoming and some like the weaker ones after The Room. Like after The Room, they all just kind of just sucked. They haven't really been really putting out a lot of quality. And I was listening to Pro Jared about it. Hideo Kojima, I'm pretty sure, is like single-handedly keeping that company afloat because just he puts his name on stuff and it sells. So I'm wondering is why would you get rid of the Golden Goose, essentially? Especially when you have a great, you could make a great reboot with Silent Hill.
Kojima was producer on Castlevania: Lords of Shadow, and his production career was in the development team.
Okay.
I mean, he
Maybe.
could just be hard to work with.
Yeah, exactly.
that could be
Or
possible.
he's asking for too much money now, and they can't afford what he's requesting. I don't know.
Can we just go with a completely different thing that maybe he's just decided to leave?
Yeah, he wants
I
to
mean,
pursue a different
Maybe he
career
wants
path.
to.
Maybe he actually wants to do
Movies?
film.
different type of game.
Yeah.
Yeah, or he's just decided that Konami's a sinking ship, and he wants to go somewhere else. I mean, can you imagine what he could do if he could get another franchise going like Metal Gear Solid and sell it to all systems?
Yeah.
If he continues to develop games, I have a feeling he's not going to have any problem finding
No.
partners.
Lords of the Fallen developers were saying, "Hey, you could come work for us." But
Lords of the
I mean,
what's funny is like Curtis, what you're saying is like maybe he sees a sinking ship. He could be like the Adam Sessler of like the gaming industry and just be like, "Oh, this is failing. Well, it's a good thing I'm leaving soon." He did it with G4. Apparently, like Revision 3 apparently is going down the crapper now. It's like maybe he just sees something.
I mean,
We
I
love you,
can't
Sessler, if
even-
you're watching.
I mean, I can't even. When we were talking about this just a second before the show started, I mean, we were like, "What does even Konami make these days?" We were trying to like remember exactly what they put out, and in reality, the quality games, like we said, were his
Suikoden.
games.
But they do a lot of stuff that's not video game related.
Yes,
Or at least not video game production. They do comic books, they do toys, they do, I think, board games, they do all kinds of stuff. So it's not
Yeah.
exclusively video games.
All right.
Yeah.
It's going to definitely be a very interesting story to pay attention to in the coming weeks, especially with someone as big name as Kojima. So we might even be talking about it next week if anything else develops. Moving along, we were able to pull Murph last week from Bloodborne.
Yes.
Now he's had a week's worth of playing. So Murph,
Yes.
Bloodborne, the floor is
Yes.
yours.
Oh, do you like Dark Souls? Then you'll like Bloodborne. It is subtly different. It is much more of an action game. So if you didn't like the sort of slow pacing of Dark Souls, might be the game for you. If you hated how hard it was, this is not the game for you. This game is, if not as hard, just as hard. Like, what can I say? It's really good. There's a lot of storytelling that's kind of in the background, but I'm not quite done yet. I think the story is a little more linear, but it's not. It's hard. I don't want to get spoilery, but it's
Okay.
a lot of
But
people.
it's meeting all of your expectations.
The graphics are not. They're good. They are not like I'm not blown away by them. Like there's some little things like people's mouths don't move. Hair doesn't look exactly right. But just in terms of like landscapes and like ambience and like mood, this game is really good.
I could just imagine you and your wife conversing about it. Hey, honey, how's Bloodborne? His hair's not moving right. One of the big questions, because this it still is. It's a PlayStation 4 exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth getting a PlayStation 4 for this game?
If you are going to buy one of the next consoles, a next generation console, this is probably the first exclusive that is even worth it. Personally, I think. Like, what other there's Sunset Overdrive
For
Yeah, that's a big one.
Xbox.
for
It's gotten really
Xbox.
good reviews.
That's gotten some good reviews, and what else is there? Like
Halo, whenever that comes
Halo
out.
Guardians, which has
Tomb
a release date.
Raider. The new Tomb Raider is going to be
Timed-
timed
I
exclusive.
think that's
exclusive.
just a timed exclusive, so
Yep.
that's less of a deal, in my opinion.
so, so unless you like Halo, if you're a Halo guy, like this is pretty. Like if you're a Halo guy, go Xbox. If you're a Dark Souls guy, go PS4.
Isn't it weird though how that is sort of the PS4 big hitter at the moment? Like, isn't it weird how
No.
there aren't like a dozen first party games for each of those consoles? How long have these been out now? A year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean
Yeah.
that's disappointing, but I just think that's the state of development, like
Yeah,
right now.
I feel like 5 years ago, From Software was not on the radar. They weren't.
5 years
Well, I
ago,
think-
they made Demon Souls, I think, and everyone was like, meh. So like, it's kind of surprising to see that they made a
Just jumped to the front.
yeah. Like, well, would you say? Would you? I've never played any of them, so
Mhm.
correct me if I'm wrong. Would you say Demon Souls is a or Dark Souls is a sequel to Demon Souls, or is it a spiritual successor?
It's a spiritual successor.
Okay.
And there's no story relation. They just
Yeah.
play
They're
very similarly.
Okay.
they play. There's like little tiny hidden references, and even it is arguable that Dark Souls 2 is not a sequel to Dark Souls in the sense of
Correct.
in terms of story. I don't. Yeah, I could give.
I think
if
it will
you
just
wanna
go with the
check out-
title called Dark Souls 2, so we'll call it a sequel. But yeah, I suppose
Right.
the story is a little different.
It's kind of like the Final Fantasies.
That's
You're
a
right,
good
yeah.
analogy.
In
Yeah.
the same universe,
Yeah.
but not necessarily related. Sure. Yeah.
Like well,
I don't even think the Final Fantasies are in the same universe. I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
there's
That would be even more confusing than the Zelda timeline.
I think it's the correct term would technically be alternate reality, probably.
Chase, I have a book here that explains the entire Zelda
Oh.
timeline.
Good
okay?
lord, how thick?
Chronology,
Hold
It's
on.
all here.
Hold
I
the
have that one as
side
well.
of it.
It's actually not that large.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not that thick. Wow.
Like
it's
100.
it's pretty good.
I kind of
It's a good
pictured it
book.
being like the Harry Potter, like yeah, exactly.
250 pages is not that.
Or did you guys ever watch Garth Marenghi's Dark Place?
I've heard. I think no.
Oh.
They made it's like a faux like horror show about like a faux horror author named Garth Marenghi, and they had the Garth Marenghi collection. It was a book literally like this big, and it was all his books in succession. That's what I was kind of anticipating with the Zelda universe. So
That would imply it's that complicated, though.
It is.
So right now, final question for Bloodborne. You paid $60, correct?
Yeah.
Is it worth the 60 right
Oh.
now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It is. Here's the really cool part, and this is probably something that's exclusive to Souls games. They don't explain anything.
Right.
Like
yeah.
you look at the wikis right now, they're like, hit them in the head? Question mark? So if you like being part of that, like being in that kind of like era of discovery, like there are probably things right now that people haven't done. Like you could be the first person to do or find something, which is kind of really cool.
It's
I mean,
like
I'm
games
not going
back
to
in
be
the 90s, right? There
right.
weren't-
Yeah, it's kind of that
wasn't an
pre-internet
internet
feeling.
community. Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
And I believe like
But-
Final Fantasy 11 was like that as well, where like there was like no strategies on how to beat certain bosses, and so it took like one group 2 years to actually beat like the best boss in the game, and then like, oh, this is how you finally beat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like that. Maybe it's definitely been already. Someone's got it down, a speed run down to 44 minutes.
Yeah, I saw that.
However, it's a very weird critical path. There's a lot of optional stuff. So I'm probably going to clock in probably around 40, 50, maybe 60 hours with just before I beat it.
How near you at right now?
I think I've got 3 or so more bosses. So I'm probably at like 40-ish mark. Depends on how much time I need to beat the final boss.
I have a mechanical question, or a hardware question. I remember back when Dark Souls 2 was coming out soonish, they had all these tech videos where the game
Yeah.
was jacked up to 20 out of 10, Graphically, it looked fantastic. The shadows were super dark, and when the game came out, it didn't look like that at all. Somewhat understandably, because it's a tech demo and they're supposed to make it look pretty, but it was a stark difference. It was like, whoa, I'm running this on a PC with a maxed out everything. Why doesn't it look like that at all? Is there a huge difference between what we were seeing 6 months ago in their tech demos versus what you're playing on the PS4, or do you think it's closer?
It's like in terms of, it has not changed graphically a whole ton. Like it's what you see is what you get. I don't know.
Because that was really disappointing for me.
Yeah, that's a whole thing.
Great, but that was a big graphic difference that I wasn't expecting to see.
That's kind of a weird thing, and it's kind of hard to speculate why they went that way.
I mean, that's tech demos in general. They always look better than they end up.
I mean, we'll have to see when Scholar of the First Sin comes out, if they put that back in, which is coming out soon for PS4.
I think, yeah.
I think they actually already put the high texture packs out there. I think you can download them.
Yeah, they're doing like a DirectX 11 massive update to the engine. I don't know if that's going to make it look the way we thought it would in the tech demos, but
right. We'll just have to wait and see.
Cool. Yeah.
I was just wondering if there was a huge difference.
No, like I said, it's a good looking game. It's not a great looking game. There's some minor things that annoy me, but like gameplay is top notch.
That's what we expect from Dark Souls / Demon Souls / Bloodborne.
From Software.
Yes.
Right.
Like definite buy. And well, it's not for everyone. But I would say, hey, pick up a Demon Souls, pick up a Dark Souls if you like it. If you don't feel like dropping 60, you could probably get those for probably under 10 at some point.
Yeah.
There's a bundle right now where it's I think it's with the PlayStation for $400. So
there you
basically free, right?
Yep.
All right. There you go. We got one question in. I've been getting a few people asking me this right now. It's been a few months since we've had this topic, so we can at least, it's nice and fresh. We can still discuss it. What are some good games right now that are under 20? And I'll start off with Curtis.
Oh man, you're gonna make me go first, huh?
I'm gonna make you go first.
Yeah. The one that instantly jumps to mind is a game that you will see almost always on people's, hey, nobody played this game. It's gonna be Psychonauts.
Yes.
Really cool little platform game that came out, I think it was the Xbox generation, the original Xbox.
Yeah, Xbox,
PS2.
PlayStation 2, etc.
Really, really good game. The best way to describe it is you go inside. You're at a psychics camp, I believe, where they're teaching people how to be psychics, and you keep on going in other people's brains. And like one guy is having PTSD, so you go in his brain and it's like a war zone. And then you go in someone else's brain and you're like Godzilla, and you're trampling over all these like fish people and all this weird stuff. It's a really weird, unique Tim Schafer game.
I thought it was Tim Schafer.
It is Tim Schafer game, and right now it's going for $10. It's real super cheap. It's definitely worth the money.
Murph, do you have any that are really good?
That are good right now. So I'm going to have to jump into PC world because I think come back to me. I'm thinking.
Clegg.
I'm looking for this iPhone game that sucked up more. Here it is. I mean, you didn't give us a platform, so I'm just going to go with whatever.
All right.
Battle Heart is a iPhone game. I think it's also out for the Android. But you control a party of 4, and you go into these dungeons, and you're controlling them in real time, similar to you would control or direct raid members in really any game that involves raiding a boss, where you have to move, and every character has different casts that they do in real time. So you're controlling a party to maneuver around a boss and deal with mechanics. It's called Battle Heart. I think it's like $5. Cheap game, but it was really, really fun. I think I got 20 hours out of it, and for an iPhone game, that's really good.
That's not bad.
It is on Android as well. It's running about $3.
Oh, there you go. I think they came out with the second one, which I didn't like as much. It was more of a 3D dungeon crawler sort of game, but this is a 2D game, similar to like Final Fantasy 3.
Hmm.
You know, graphically, it's
Yeah,
very
I
sad,
know.
static, but I like it a lot. That's a good one.
Murph?
All right, I got mine.
All
I got so this one is one that I have not played, but I'm kind of it's in my queue, and I've it's been recommended to me by enough people that I trust that I feel comfortable doing it, and that is Darkest Dungeon.
Yes.
It is
Yeah.
currently in early access, but from what I've heard, it's reasonably well built. It is
That's-
exactly 19.99.
Oh, it's
on
still
Steam.
$20? I thought it went up. Okay.
Nope. So it might be going up soon. Who knows?
Yeah, it's really good.
It's a really good game. If you like hard kind of roguelikes, it's a really kind of just
It's brutal. That's what it is.
It's pretty much brutal.
That one is also party based, but turn based, more similar to Final Fantasy 1 and 2 mechanically. But it's like Cthulhu meets Diablo meets I don't know.
D&D.
Yeah,
Little bit
Dungeons
of
and
Dungeons
Dragons actually.
Dragons.
Yeah. Really good. It's got a
in keeping in my kind of like horror kick and games like that, Sunless Sea I hear is also really well. Maybe the gameplay is not the best, however, but apparently the writing it's kind of like a weird combination of like FTL and what's the no it's like it's kind of like a Cthulhu FTL, put it that way.
That sounds pretty cool.
So
Chase, are you gonna put a link to all these in the description of the video?
I can now.
What about you, Chase? What's
I just sent you
your
the one for Battleheart.
Yay, you sent me a thing that I have to know. Make my editing job a little bit harder. For me, because it's on sale and a lot of people have been recommending it, I'm going to go with The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. I haven't played it yet, but a lot of people keep telling me that it's a really fun game. If you want to go even cheaper, you can never go wrong with Hearthstone, in my opinion. Because I mean,
that's true.
It's free to play. And so I mean, first off, what's better than free? And that's the fact that it's a free to play that you don't have to pay money to win. And so I think that's why I like a lot more about it. You also have.
It does help though.
It does help.
But it's definitely not necessary. You're right.
Yeah, it does help, but it's not needed. Warframe had a few massive updates, and remember we used to play that, and they updated it. Like they have like 8-person raids and stuff, so it got like a serious overhaul, and it's still a lot of fun.
In case they don't know what it is.
What? Warframe?
Warframe.
Yep.
Space ninjas. That's pretty much it. It's you have like what's really cool about Warframe. We mentioned it previously in last week's episode. More detailed. You play as a space ninja essentially. There's stealth missions, but there's zero stealth mechanics to it because as soon as you fire a gun, we got the chaos going. And so you have you fight against different factions. You have like these space marine like people like the Grineer. You have the oh my gosh, I'm blanking.
There's the robot guys.
There's the robot people. NG?
That's
I don't know.
I'll
But
look
there's,
it
like,
up.
the-
Corvus. I think it's
Corvus.
I think I got it.
That sounds
you're
right.
That sounds about right. And then you have like these plague outbreaks. And what's really cool is that all the levels change, and they will also have alerts where they will. They'll say, hey, by the way, if you complete this mission, because it's a special event, you'll get bonus loot, you'll get better items, etc.
Yeah, there's a big crafting system.
There's a
in it.
huge
this
crafting
is
system.
It's a shooter, by the way.
It's a shooter.
Third person.
Yeah, it's a third-person shooter, which you can kind of treat like as a hack and slash if you're like me and just want to be the dick character and just start swinging away at everything. It's a lot of fun, and not only can you level up yourself, you level up your profile, you level up different suits. You have different types of suits that do different things. My personal favorite is the Loki. Because, the god, he is literally like this dick champion that can go invisible. He can make clones of himself. He can disable every gun. It's like, all right, let's go the way of the kings and start sword fighting each other. And is a lot of fun. There's a fire guy. There's even like a water guy. There's so many different combinations. It's a lot of fun. And
I think that one's multi-platform, isn't it?
they
PlayStation
just
and
they
Xbox now?
it's not. I don't think it's on PlayStation. It's on Xbox One now.
I think it's on Xbox.
They just released on Xbox One about a few months ago. It's definitely on PC, so it is definitely worth at least checking out. Play a few levels with it because you got to know the mechanics, but the way it runs, the way it handles, it's so good, and it's also not a pay to win. So check it out. Check out Warframe.
And it's a lot of fun. Like,
It is.
It is.
It is PlayStation 4 as well.
It did make PlayStation 4?
So
Okay.
that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, just I agree with everything that Chase said. It's a really good game to play with your friends.
Yeah.
Yes, co-op is fun in that one.
Yep.
Yeah. All
I
right.
don't think do they have competitive
Nailed it.
verses in there at all, or is it still all
I think
co-op?
there was a competitive battle, but then like I don't think anybody did it, but I think they still have it. I know that there's also like clans and stuff as well. Like you get to create your own dojo, and it's just like I remember we had ours, and it was a lot of fun.
Yep.
Like we all put like stuff into it, and we all tried to make like different suits and different weapons, etc. Yeah,
That's pretty cool stuff.
it was really cool, and it was a lot of fun. You can also level up your weapons, and like you can customize so many things, especially for a free to play game. It's kind of nice.
And graphically, it's very pretty.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
it is.
It's a very attractive game.
Yes.
Very cool. You also can do like ninja-like things like run up walls
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and
Right.
And
all that kind of flippy stuff.
one thing that I thought was really cool, and it's still one of the coolest moments I ever got to experience, was me and two other people, and they're both friends of ours, and we were playing on Skype, and we were doing like pretty much like one of those like onslaught missions, you know, where this like wave keep coming, and then it's like, oh hey, next wave's coming, do you want to leave now? And so we're doing that, and all of a sudden a boss spawns on a different that he's not supposed to be there, and so what the boss ended up doing was attacking me and captured me. And so now I had to escape from a different planet with zero help whatsoever.
Oh.
It was for spoiler, I'm gonna try to keep this very minimal. It was Alad V, which
Alright.
I know.
you know who it is, yeah.
I do know. Who it
He
is.
has a very cool, very unique, very dark story to it. So like that's why it was like really cool and interesting, especially to hear his voice, like his brooding voice. It's like I really just hate this guy, and I had to go and get my weapons. I had to get my abilities. I had to go and get my armor and everything. So I'm literally running around naked, being a ninja and avoiding fire. And it was intense, but it was a lot of fun. So that's at least for me. So
Yeah,
all
that's
right,
a good one.
Sounds good.
yeah. So Warframe, check it out, and all the other games that they mentioned. So all right, we talked about this last week, and we'll talk about it one more time because Murph, you did a little bit more of a study on Jurassic Park 2.
Right.
Is
Still
it
a bad movie.
Still a bad movie.
But
That's the conclusion.
Good night, everybody.
yeah. The part where the Tyrannosaurus is running around San Diego is really cool.
Yes.
And I think it saves it. I think it's enough of a really cool moment to put it into the good bad movie from the bad movies.
What's a good bad movie?
Demolition
Love
Man.
to hate it.
Demolition Man.
Okay.
Okay.
Demolition
That was
Man,
the-
there's like that's the best.
Yeah. I saw a horror movie last week, and I don't think I talked about it last week. It was called It Follows. And
Okay.
it's really cool. It's basically about this entity that if you have sex with somebody, you see it. And the only way you can get rid of it is if you pass it on to somebody else. But if that person dies, it comes back up in the chain. And so it literally just like keeps on killing. And so nobody else can see it. It's just that person or the people that are infected. It's like paranormal AIDS. And
So is this just like a person who hangs around you?
it's literally like
age
it's
works that way.
it's close enough. They're literally like they take the form of anybody, somebody that you know, somebody that you don't know, but they'll always be walking, and they'll always walk towards you. And what's even crazier is like there's moments throughout the movie where I'm not watching the main character, I'm watching behind the main character, to the side of the main character, because you will always see like somebody, and it's like you're wondering, are they going to strike? Who's it going to be? And they always change appearances. And it was a very eerie movie, and I think what made it even better was the fact that it didn't rely on jump scares or gore, which you've been seeing a lot in horror movies as of late. So it's definitely a movie that I recommend. It's called It Follows. That has a very like no big names whatsoever. No, I'm pretty sure it's all like indie actors. The soundtrack's pretty cool. It has like an 80s sound to it. But it's definitely a movie I would recommend. Especially like with the horror genre the way it is right now, it's definitely worth the watch. And I would also say it's worth the price of admission.
Okay.
That's cool.
All right.
Sounds good.
Cool. Great job. Anything else we want to talk about at all?
I started watching the X-Files last night.
Ooh. That's
I want to believe
3 episodes.
that's still
I
a good
wanted-
show.
I wanted to believe, Chase, because well, it's coming back, right? They're
Right,
doing like a
yes.
6-episode reboot or continuation with the same 2 actors, which is nice.
Wait, what?
So I thought I would rewatch.
yes.
Yeah, they're getting
They're getting Mulder and Scully back
both
together.
of them together for like it's a
Yeah.
short run, as they've said. It's like 6 episodes long. It's
Yeah.
not going to be a whole new season. But I haven't seen it in so long. I decided to go back and watch them, and I got through the first 3 episodes. It kind of holds up pretty decently, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't expect crazy special effects or graphics or whatever, but they worked with what they had, and that it's still pretty good. I like it. That's a good show. I haven't seen it in 10 years or something.
I actually never saw it on its original run.
Like any episodes whatsoever.
I saw. Oh, I mean, I caught the odd episode when I was like really young, and it scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
right.
I watch it with my dad every once in a while.
But like, rewatching it as an adult, it has that kind of like what Chase was talking about. It doesn't do jump scares. It's that
I was just thinking that exactly.
it's super just unsettling. I think is the right word. Where
It's
you just
because they make you wait
yes,
a long time for the payout, and the payout isn't a jump.
yes.
It's-
And there was one I can just remember. I think it was in the first season. It was when they're in like they kind of had a thing episode where they're in the snow, and then there's this like worm, I think it is, that's like going around, and some people might be affected, some people might not be infected, and I don't remember exactly what happens, but it was a really, really interesting episode where people were like basically trying to kill each other, and it was like, yeah, it was really good. It's really good.
Yeah, but it's not jump scare, it's not gore scare, it's creepy scare,
Yes.
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It's about the tension.
Yeah.
Good show.
This kind of made me think about it. It's actually somewhat related. I realize I found what one of my guilty pleasures are, and that's top 10 lists. Because
Those are-
Okay.
yeah,
I'll
guilty
see,
pleasure.
yeah, like I'll see.
Watch Mojo. Is
Yes,
that-
that's exactly
Yes.
it.
I've
Because
been addicted to that.
I'll watch one and I'm like, okay, that's cool. Oh, top 10 weirdest ways people have died in movies. I mean, why not? Oh, another top 10? All right, why not? And like by the time I realize it, I've watched like 5. And I was like, why am I watching this? And it made me realize certain things. The only time I would ever stick to VH1 is if they had like one of those top 10 like weirdest reality show moments or best whatever moments. I'm like, all right, I'm interested. So that's at least me. But like one of them was like top 10 weirdest ways people have died in horror, and it's like, bless you.
Oh.
And so like that's why it's like, oh, horror. Oh, top 10 people died weird.
I love those videos.
Yeah.
I can't help it.
Yeah, they're awesome. Tron 3 may have a title as well. Tron
Wait,
Ascension.
Fuck, Tron. Sorry.
We were doing so good, and I didn't have to do any work of editing. But now,
But Tron, you had to bring up Tron.
What's wrong with Tron?
It's a
Tron.
bad movie.
Yeah.
The original Tron is not
Okay,
a good
the
movie.
original Tron is pretty.
There's not
cheesy.
been a good Tron.
Legacy,
The second one
Uprising,
was better
Tron
than the
2.0.
Well, okay, let's talk about Tron 2.0 for a second. I thought it dragged. I thought that movie could have been an hour
Oh,
or like
Tron
45
Legacy.
minutes.
Or
Yeah, the movie. I thought it just like there's this section where nothing happens.
Well, Murph,
Nothing
you're saying
happens.
it could have just not existed. That,
Yep.
While that's true,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have to say that it does exist, so it could have been whittled down to something to make it better.
I
I
mean,
mean, it could have been. He could have like jumped off of that parachute thing, and then
And
the
died.
parachute didn't deploy.
got hit by a truck.
Get hit by a truck. The end. Tron.
Whatever. Gone Home's a crappy game, so
Oh,
there you go.
wow! Just don't lash out because
I-
Tron is bad.
Don't lash out because
can
Gone.
we at least agree it was a bad idea to CG Jeff Bridges' face?
Yeah,
Can we agree he looked like a Barbie doll?
like that was like, come on now. Like, anytime
like-
that they make anybody look young, like
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart in X-Men Origins,
Oh,
it's like I'm pretty sure you just
God.
wasted your entire CG budget making him
Yeah.
look younger.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for Tron 3. I love Tron Legacy, and screw you, Murph. On that note,
I'm a terrible person and I hate everything that's good.
Exactly.
World.
I thought it had some good elements in it, but overall, I did not think it was a great movie. That's how I.
Okay.
Like Murph says, Jurassic Park 2 is a good bad movie. I still argue that it's not a good movie, and it's not a good bad movie. But
It's a movie. I won't say you love to hate might be a little extreme, but
Yeah.
you know,
it's not
you
like
enjoy
The Room.
watching it, even though it's kind of not good.
see, it's funny because Murph says that scene at the end makes it good, and I disagree. I think that's what makes it bad.
Oh,
New York thing.
San Diego.
I think
Oh,
it was a
wherever they
good
were.
movie up to the point where the other people showed up. Like the engine people showed up. I thought it was a really interesting movie until that happened, and then it just completely blew everything. That scene with the raptors in the grass where there's a whole bunch of hunters in there, I still think is a great scene. The scene where she's doing gymnastics and punching the velociraptor, that is not a good scene.
If she had done that little gymnastic trolley thing, hit the raptor and then bounced right back, and the raptor stood upright.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I mean, there's just elements of a good movie. And I think that's why it's so frustrating. In my
Yeah.
opinion. Just take Jeff Goldblum out, and I think that would be a better movie too.
No, I think we need more. They need to clone Jeff Goldblum.
Instead of the dinosaurs.
I'm always looking out for a future Mrs. Malcolm. And there's like just a bunch of them.
A bunch of his head is just on the raptors and everything.
No, someone showed me the Jeff Goldblum laughing in Jurassic Park, the ha 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 ha, and like they eventually made a remix of it, and so we eventually started playing it every time we kind of dicked over the other person in Mario Party because it fits so well. Ha 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 ha.
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff,
Well, he's not in this new one, right? So
I mean Chef
We
Goldblum.
know. Not that we know of.
no.
that we know of.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah,
Hopefully it's good. The TV spots look interesting.
Yeah.
They look fun.
Yeah, I'm excited.
let's see.
So
I'll see it. but-
Hopefully optimistic.
Yeah. That's a good way to say it.
Yeah.
Also, if you haven't seen Kingsman, that was great.
yes, it was.
Yep. That was pretty
Keep
fantastic.
hearing that and needed to see it.
Yes,
Yep.
it is
It's
so good.
I was so skeptical going in, but it was so fun.
Yeah.
You like British accents? You like spy movies? You like anal sex? What? It's a good movie.
That's the second that you're gonna have to make.
I think the dogs heard that and they're like, "What? We like that."
What?
Do I really need to edit that out? Is that radio appropriate?
I don't think so, but hey, we can just put an explicit tag. and then
Or I could. We'll see. But it was so good. Like that was a movie I literally smiled like the entire
Yeah.
time.
it felt like James Bond with the gadgets back. I guess.
Yeah, it felt like the crazier Bond films like back in the day.
Oh, but speaking of Bond, the new trailer they released
Yes.
for Spectre,
I'm just excited. Christoph Waltz is that
super good.
bad guy.
Yes.
Mm.
Playing Blowfield, it's gonna be so good.
I'm excited just because I thought that Javier Bardem was so good. It's like no one's gonna beat him. Then you bring in
He really
Christoph
was.
Waltz, and it's like, ooh.
Talking about intense, that scene in freaking Inglourious Bastard still makes me squirm.
Oh yeah. I went by a daycare the other day and it was called La Petite, and I kept thinking of that opening,
Jeez.
Monsieur La Petite.
Oh my god, that was a good movie.
Oh,
Anyways.
such a good movie. All right, let's wrap things up. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you're watching us on YouTube or listening to us via Podcast Garden, Stitcher, TuneIn, iTunes, whatever it is, thank you for making us a part of your day. You can like the show page at facebook.com/thatnewshowshow. You could follow me on Twitter at Chase Bunker, or you can follow the show's Twitter at that_game_show. Feel free to leave a like, comment. What did you like about Jurassic Park 2? What movie do you want us to also kind of critique? Please let it
What
be a
did you
somewhat
like about
decent one.
Tron 2?
Also, subscribe to this channel, That New Show, and you could also see other videos coming up, like other interviews, and even previous interviews. They're actually really cool. And I played Payday for a little bit, and it was fun. The third one's the best one. So, with that all being said, for Curtis Coe, Murph Murphy, and Daniel Clegg, I am Chase Bunker saying, have a good rest of your week, and we'll talk to you next week. And have a great April
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Fools.